G'day folks, welcome to another show. Nick, a magnificent day and the beautiful Scammander River. What's it famous for?
Well, interestingly enough, Andrew, the Scammander River, very, very famous for its cheese production and also verdant farmlands here.
Yeah, and also folks, famous for its bream fishing, and that's what we're going to do today with a new technique that you'll be very interested in learning. It's a very deadly technique, Nick.
A deadly technique. Yes, it's bream on soft plastic lures, folks. So stick with us. With any luck, we'll show you one shortly.
Oh!
Whack, he's got something on that.
There you are, ladies and gentlemen, southern bluefin tuna. Sweet. And that is the biggest salmon I've ever caught. How big? Well done.
Okay, folks, we've made our way up the Scammander River a little bit, and we're with the great man today, Michael Haley. He is bad news for bream, folks. He's from Gone Fishing Charters. Michael, today, what's on the menu?
We're going to use soft plastics today, Nick. We've done a bit on the bait and hard body lures, but the Americans have been using these soft body lures for quite a while, and Australians now are just starting to get into them, and they are a very addictive way to catch fish.
And they work.
And they work well. They work really well. You work hard into the snags, and the fish just come and gobble them.
All right, well that sounds pretty good, mate. We might see what we can do. Hardy's, as per usual, cheating, started early, but we won't let that stop us. Let's go, mate.
Okay.
Righto, mate, we've got a nice snag here. What are we going to do? You don't just throw those soft plastics out and wind them back in, do you, like a normal lure?
No, it's all in the technique, Andrew. What we do is we throw in as hard to the snag as we can get. Just let it drop down, and the tail will flutter as it goes down, and then we get a nice jig action happening. Just wind in, lift your rod, let it flutter back down.
So it's very slow.
It's very slow. You've got to watch your line too, because sometimes the fish will suck them in and they'll spit them straight back out. So you've got to be right on the ball and really keep your eye on the line and what your lure's doing.
And they usually grab it as it's fluttering back down.
That's right. As it flutters back down, they usually come in, slam it, and you've only got about 2 seconds to turn the fish around, because he's going to go straight back into that snag.
Right.
So you've got to turn his head, pull him straight back out, and hopefully you've got yourself a bream.
All right. Now, I noticed that all your rods are rigged with braid line.
Yep, braid line, because you've got no stretch there. I mean, it's direct to your lure, so you can feel everything. We've got probably a 6 pound mono leader for approximately 1800 to 2 metres, just so the fish just can't pick up the braid.
Right, okay. Sounds like barra fishing, mate.
It's exactly the same as barra fishing, jack fishing, any of the stuff that they do when they work the snags, because you'll find that 90% of your fish are going to be on your snags.
Well, very good. I didn't even realise we had a fishery like this in Tasmania, so it's...
It's going to take off, there's no doubt about that.
All right, well, you've heard it here, folks. First, on hook, line and sinker. Now let's catch a fish.
Okay.
All right, everybody. We made the call, let's catch a fish, and it didn't take long. Michael was saying, get in there tight, get in tight on that snag. And sure enough, we did. Now, I will admit that that is not a huge fish. I will make that consolation to you, but that is a lovely little bream. Look at that. And he was right in there tight. Actually, when I chucked the lure in there, Michael said, yep, that's a good one. And so it was, and the fish picked it up as the lure was just fluttering down. You just saw the line sort of move on the water, and that's the indication that you've got a bream on. But any better ones than this in here, Mick?
A lot bigger than that.
Well, here's a start anyway. Here's our first one, and we'll take him.
Oh, well, Nick, you may catch the numbers.
Yep.
But I tell you what, this is a good bream. Oh, this is a good bream, and this is good fishing. It's exciting fishing, isn't it? It's very visual because you can see the little lure flutter down, and
Look at that, that's a thumper.
That's a beautiful fish.
then out of nowhere come those big fish. That is a really good bream.
Well done.
Is that a good one for out of Scammander?
That's good for Scammander. Scamander's not known for its big fish, but there's a lot of fish, but that's a beautiful
Look
fish.
at that. Look at that little soft plastic in his mouth there. Get that out. Now, Michael, you know, we were in Scammander, and you were mentioning Anson's Bay before that you can do this. Where else can you do it?
Most of the estuary systems on the east coast, Scammander, Anson's, I said, the Swan, little Swan Port, up around the Rubicon area would be where there's bream and there's structures, you can use this method.
You've got to get in tight. That you can't really stress that important enough. Nick's down there at the moment. If we have a look at Nick, we'll have a look how tight Nick is.
This is tight. Now this is very, very rare that you'll see the guide fishing, isn't it? Particularly on this program. But you've done all right here, boss.
Yeah, we've just come up to a couple of nice logs again, and a couple of little small fish.
Had a look, didn't it?
Had a look, and then
Oh, you're not done.
he's not done yet. Yeah, and a big one came out from behind and nailed it.
Look at that.
There we go.
Look at that, folks. You've done well there. Now, I guess, Michael, it's for people who haven't used these lures before. The thing to get across is it's really subtle fishing, isn't it?
It is, Nick. You've got to just lift the lure up and let it flutter down with that plastic tail. It just, as it drops down, it starts wiggling. Fish come in, he has a look, and he'll suck it straight in. And you've got to be looking all the time, because as soon as he feels the hook and what, he'll spit it straight back out. So as soon as you see your line deviate, or you actually can see the fish take it, yeah, you strike, and then hopefully that'll it. You don't have to move the lure very fast at all.
Now, I can't get him off there. You've hooked him too well.
I've hooked him too well.
This is the genius of coming with a guide, folks. You pay the big bucks, but you don't have to get your own fish off. Look at that. You've done well. Nice fish.
Not as big as mine.
Not as big as Hardy's.
And he
Bigger
bit
than
me.
mine.
That's the one. Be more fish in there.
Hook one out. We'll get one.
I need another rod actually.
Do it.
Mm.
Use it. Oh, you're on.
We're on.
Look at that.
The only little fella though.
He's a little fella, but you can see there, folks, that was just how subtle the fishing is. Just all we're doing there, weren't even casting. Nice dive, but just lobbing the lure in amongst the trees and the snags and the bits of wood, and you're just plopping it down. You wait, you wait, you wait. You feel the tap, bang, bream. It works just about as well as bait, doesn't it?
It does. Once you get the hang of it,
Yeah.
and you get some confidence in your fishing and your lures, you start to produce some good fish.
Well, that is it. That is it. If you want to learn how to do it, why don't you go and see Michael Haley of Gone Fishing Sports Charters. He's the king of the estuaries here in Tasmania. And if you want to catch a bream, this is what you do.
Yes, this soft plastic session was a real eye-opener. The fish hit the lure hard. Now you have to cast in tight to the snags. Don't worry if you're getting snagged, Nick, because that means you're where the fish are.
Yeah, snags really were your specialty of the day, Andrew. Give Michael Haley a call. He'll catch you anything that swims in the East Coast estuaries, in particular, big bream.
Yes, what a day. You said it was addictive, this soft plastic style of fishing, and I tend to agree with you, Michael.
Yeah, it's something about it just grabs you. You just want to keep casting and casting all day. So it's a new style of fishing and it works well.
New style of fishing, mate, and it works. You've done beautifully for us, Michael Haley. Look him up, folks. He's very good. He's the Bream man, no question about it. But coming up next on Hook, Line and Sinker, more fabulous fishing action.
These are true sport fish, these salmon. That's easily 2 kilos of blackback.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the show, and James Luddington, welcome back to you, our man here on Flinders Island. You've turned the weather on. What's happening?
Lovely day at Salmon Rocks, a place you can come to and fish under your own steam, and a few good fish to be caught.
Now, this is important. Today we're showcasing Flinders Island. We've been here quite a few times, out off the shelf and the big glamour species, but this, if you turn up here, is something that you too can do.
You can come down with a family and definitely catch a fish.
All right, James, your reputation is on the line.
There's birds out there, Nick.
All right.
There's birds. It's time for some of that raw natural talent. You don't have to stand tall, but you have to stand up.
Righto, come on. Righto, James, now we haven't got the big boat. How are we going to get out there where the fish are?
Today, with the wind behind us, Nick, I'm going to use a float.
Right.
Fairly generally available.
Yep.
And I'm going to rig him sliding on a little bit of leader.
Yep.
So that he's easier to cast further out. I've got a size 4 long shank hook there, which will give me a bit of protection against a leather jacket if there's one there.
Yep.
And I'm small hook for a sweep, trevally or whatever's out there. It's still quite a strong hook. On the line I've slipped 2 ball sinkers.
Yep.
So that when the line goes slack, it carries the leader down about 1.5 meters into the water, 2 meters into the water, because it's only about 4 meters, 3 to 4 meters deep.
And that keeps us up above the rubbish and in the strike zone.
Up above the parrotfish, that's
All
right.
right. Well, actually,
No,
it looks
to
like,
stop-
I'll just interrupt you there, it looks like Hardy's onto a fish.
Ah, so he is.
James is having a go with his bait, but a little spin out here. We saw some birds earlier. They seem to have flown away, but I think there was some salmon about. And third cast of the day with a little laser lure, and this is a snook or a pike, depending on what you'd like to call it. They take lures pretty well, those fish, over weedy sort of areas. They fight all right, and apparently they're not bad eating, but we'll let this bloke go and we'll keep having a spin, try and get some of these big salmon up. It's quite good here, you never know really what you're going to catch. Ooh, another fish, another fish. What have we got? Another, this is a true pike. This is the jack pike. The other one we got was a snook. This is your jack pike, and they're good for bait. Still good fun to catch. I don't know if you can see out there, but there's some birds just sitting out on the edge of the sand and rock. It's quite deep off here. And what we've got is some little salmon, or quite big salmon, just swimming past, and we'll just sit here and wait with our lures, and hopefully a school will pop up and swim past, and we'll be able to get into some salmon. But there's some nice little bycatches to keep you occupied. I've literally had probably 12 casts and caught 3 fish, so pretty good. Oh, you never tire of this. Never tire of this. There's fish here, there are salmon here. The pike were not bad. Here's a nice salmon. Now, he's quite badly cut, so we might dong this bloke on the head.
What makes this area pretty good too is that it's we're up in the rocks here, but it does drop out to be quite deep out there, so it's a really good place to spin, and you can let your lure up and down, prospect the sort of water column a little bit without too much fear of getting snagged up in the rocks and the weed. That looks like a pretty good fish, Andrew.
Yeah, mate, they're all nice, true blackback salmon. And this is good fishing. I mean, we've just, if you don't know where to come, I don't think it really matters, just pick a rocky outcrop. And I mean, it's fairly windy today, but because we're on an island, obviously you can get out of it. You go to the lee side and just have a spin. And you catch those fish and they're just magnificent. And you don't really know what you're going to get either. I mean, we're in the middle of Bass Strait here in summer. There's no reason why you can't spin up, you know, a kingfish or something a bit more size. But, oh, these are true sport fish, these salmon. That's easily 2 kilos of blackback. And we'll downsize our gear and have a bit of fun, but look at that. Oh, oh. There you go. Welcome back to the show, folks. Coming to you today from Flinders Island. We're showing you the inshore options. We just spun up some brilliant salmon. And now James has got us float fishing for a variety of island species here. Salmon, pike, cooter, kingfish, whatever. Very, very relaxing way to fish. You're sitting here in the lee side of the island, Mount Strzelecki in the background, but you sort of have to watch your float bobbing around out there, the orange thing. Set up so as when a fish grabs it, the float goes down under and strike, and hopefully you're into a fish. I say hopefully because it's trickier than it looks. I've just lost my bait here, but we've still got some birds flying around and we should be all right. We'll try and show you this technique of float fishing.
What do you got?
I don't know, mate. Maybe a kelpie or something, a wrasse? What is it? It's a good way of catching wrasse, this float fishing.
It's an elaborate method to catch a wrasse, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Look at that. You
Much
need
tougher
a
to
float.
catch a wrasse on a float than on a sinker and a hook, I can tell you that.
Never mind. All right, the float has gone down, and guess what? Another wrasse? No wrasse this time, Andrew, I don't think.
No, that's not a wrasse, Nick.
It's a pretty good, fast wrasse if it is. We actually have moved a little bit. And yep, that's a good fish. This is called salmon rocks, as James pointed out. And that's another salmon now.
Now, you saw him boil near your...
I did, I saw him
Float.
come up and sort of, there was a bit of activity at the float on the surface, then my float disappeared, and we've really found that not striking is the best method of hooking these fish. I haven't done a lot of float fishing, let's be honest.
Good fish?
Nice fish. And what we were doing earlier was striking as soon as we saw the float go down. Oh, just calm down, sweetheart. And we weren't doing all that well, really. But by just letting the float go, letting the fish hook itself, we're having a lot more success.
And mate, what do you
There we
reckon
go.
about this Flinders Island inshore stuff?
Well, this is fantastic, I'll tell you what. On,
No, I think I missed it.
you can literally hop off the plane. We're 10 minutes from the airport here. It's worth a go, and if you'd like to have a go, this is what you do.
Salmon Rocks is at the southern end of the island at the magical Trousers Point. You can hire a car and drive right up to it. Spinning is the easy way to catch a fish. Bait fishing with floats is also productive.
Yes, James will tell you you can catch yellowtail kingfish, salmon, trevally, as well as anything else that swims around the island When on Flinders Island, be sure to stay at the Furno Tavern.
Righto, Andrew, what do you got there?
Well, I don't know, James. I've been catching a lot of wrasse as usual, in my usual style. But this took a bit of garfish. It's staying down a bit deeper. What do you think it is, Orts?
Big leather jacket?
No, I think that it's a salmon.
trevally.
Or it's a trevally.
Well done, Andrew.
It's
A
the fish
beautiful
of the day,
trevally.
I would reckon, James.
That was the target of the day. We came here to catch salmon and trevally.
Oh, what a
And you
beautiful
have
fish.
got a trevally, so you haven't made a liar of me.
Well, there you go, folks. Another bit of variety. Nick,
Look at that.
eh?
Oh, you've done well.
Haven't I?
That's well done. Well done, James Luddington. Again, you've provided some excellent fishing for us here on Hook, Line and Sinker. And as you've seen, folks, that's just how easy it is. Get on the plane, have a crack yourself.
Terrific, Nick. Remember, take a little float in your tackle bag because it can be good fishing off the beach with a float.
All right.
Sage advice. We'll see you next week.
See ya.